Welcome back to the LEC Summer Split. Just before we jump into G2 versus Misfits, we need to award the key player of the game, and of course it was Kobbe. He picked up 43% of the votes. His Tristana was fantastic, and you in particular wanted to see not only that champion, but Kobbe pop off as well.
Yeah, again, I feel like it really solves a lot of, not Splyce's problems, but it like amplifies everything that they're good at. When they're ahead, they know exactly how to move around the formula, if you will, about what tower to take. And not only is Kobbe a phenomenal Tristana player, but she also amplifies that speed. You just pop her into top lane, you pop her into mid lane, she's taking all these towers, she's bouncing around everywhere.
And especially on the player that is the most consistent, high-performing member of the Splyce squad. The franchise player, if you will. We're going to move on to our next matchup. It is Misfits Gaming taking on G2 Esports. Now, Misfits Gaming, they're off to a slow start in summer. They're off to a slow 2019, to be frank. They had a 0-2 week. But now let's talk about the roster. They're keeping leader in the mid lane, so Febiven's on the bench, and they're bringing Maxlore in. Now, we talked a lot about how these two can or won't synergize in ready check. What's the cliff notes and what you're anticipating from this mid-jungle duo?
So I feel like anytime that leader is going to be starting, at least from my read, it means that the resources are going to go into him. I don't expect this to be a Hansama Gorilla game, but when Misfits have found success, it's when you have a playmaking-oriented support like a Nautilus, like a Rakan, that you can put Gorilla on, and he just kind of tees up Hansama and Maxlore to just destroy kids down into that bot lane. Because it's leader, I expect it's going to be something about an assassin or a very heavy resource-oriented mid laner, and it'll probably be about that Yasuo-Gragas combo. Now, if I know that, I guarantee all the other LEC teams know that, so I expect to see those targeted out in the bans.
If I recall correctly, it was Splyce that took down Misfits when leader played during week 3, and after the fact, we spoke to their coaches and they said, well, we knew he was going to play Yasuo, and his Yasuo was either going to be 4-0 or 0-4, and they set the composition and the counter up to ensure that leader was 0-4, and you can bet your bottom dollar G2 are going to be able to do that as well.
And maybe with enough time now, it means that leader has either expanded that champion pool, or maybe they have a new trick up their sleeve. I would love to see him play something like a Renekton in the mid lane, maybe even a Pantheon in the mid lane, like go...
full
I won't
LPL
say that.
Rift Rival style.
Go full LPL.
Really good recovery. I'm proud of you for that one.
Ooh.
But look, let's turn to Maxlore's opponent and opposition. He's coming up against Jankos. And when I think about these two junglers, I feel like there's a stylistic difference. And I feel like if anyone is going to disrupt Maxlore, Jankos can be the guy to do it.
Now, here's the thing. Jankos has this reputation that he is just going to be like the gung-ho early game jungler. But I just want to remind everyone that G2 don't have to play early game. Yeah, they have a lane kingdom and they have incredible laners, but it's their mid game that's really thrived. And for the longest time, Jankos was the Karthus jungle guy. So yeah, he can rock out with his Elise, he can take the Olaf, he can dunk on you, but he can also play back, play scaling. Now, in this current meta, I expect to see him come flying out the gate, especially against someone like Maxlore, but I don't think either of them are going to get the Elise. I think it's going to be target ban, and it's going to be something sideways that we're going to see in the jungle.
Now, obviously, we're very heavily focusing in on the jungle matchup because this is the role that Misfits are still trying to figure out, that along with their mid laner. So what is it that you want to see Maxlore do today to increase Misfits' chances of winning?
It's going to be all about what happens in the draft phase and where Misfits are going to pick to put their power. If they do get something like a Yasuo and a Gragas, or just a strong 2v2 in terms of that mid-jungle synergy, then I expect him to hard camp that. If it is about putting weapons and putting resources into Gorilla and going back to kind of the tried and true camp the bot lane, then Maxlore's going to do that. But I need him to be active, and I need him to actually channel Kirei. Like, be that aggressive, playmaking-oriented jungler, because that's what works in this meta.
Well, hopefully, if Kirei and Maxlore have been scrimming and they've been trading games, maybe they can be feeding off one another. Let's quickly step back and talk about the other three players that we haven't yet touched on. The 2v2s, Hansama Gorilla coming up against Perkz and Mikyx. How much of a favorite do you give to G2 in this regard?
I think G2 right now are, outside of Rift Rivals, probably the best laning performance from bot lane that I've seen in a very long time. I spent a lot of time watching Perkz on ProView. Highly recommend it. It's just pretty mind-blowing how they take trades, when they choose to trade their cooldowns, how they're dodging skill shots. It just feels like damage doesn't stick to them. Now, that said, Gorilla is finally in form. I feel like one of the big shortcomings from Misfits is that Gorilla didn't live up to expectations in spring, but in summer, he's looked so much better on, again, playmaking-oriented champions. And as the support pool is shifting slightly, Tahm Kench is climbing up more in priority. I actually think that takes a lot of power away from someone like Gorilla. I don't want to see him on a Tahm Kench. Not that he can't play it, but it's just not the same impact.
When I think about Gorilla, I do think about his Alistar engages, his Alistar performances. That is what I want to see from Misfits. And one of the things I'm hoping will show up today against G2. Just before we head over the top lane matchup, Wunder, I feel, is really going to be able to outclass sOAZ. I feel like sOAZ has been inconsistent at best this year. So what does sOAZ have to change, or how do you want to see him play so that the rest of Misfits can carry?
I feel like sOAZ is going to be a bit more reliant on Aatrox than someone like Wunder is. It feels like Wunder just has a larger effective champion pool, whereas sOAZ, has a couple of not necessarily a jack of all trades, but kind of a master of a couple of weapons. And Aatrox is one of those big champions in the meta that I feel like sOAZ really wants to obtain this draft.
Well, let's see whether or not Misfits can get their hands on it, whether or not G2 will be banning it out. It's G2 Esports taking on Misfits. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. Now I'm Drakos. Ender is still going to be here. Thank you very much, audience. We are, in fact, getting ready for Misfits versus G2. And I'm going to be honest, there are 2 times you don't want to play G2, Ender. 1, when they're all awake. 2, on a new patch. Because if anyone's going to bust out some crazy stuff, it's probably going to be G2. And the thing that I'm terrified for and excited for is, how is Caps going to get Kiana nerfed?
How is Caps? I'm wondering, how is Wunder going to get nerfed? How's Jankos going to get nerfed? How is anyone on G2 going to get that champion nerfed? I loved that Desk actually brought up the champion pools between these 2 top laners, because Wunder has played a unique champion in every single game so far in the LEC. 6 different champions in 6 different games, and maybe the Kiana is number 7.
And Jankos, of course, just giving the camera the straight, just looking right down the barrel of the lens. Caps won't do the same. But while it is exciting always to see G2 on a new patch, we do have to give some credit over to their opponents. Misfits Gaming, they have been struggling this season. We're kind of waiting to see what the final form of Misfits looks like, and we've been waiting a long time. But I'm hopeful that with these mid and jungle swaps, that they can finally find a form that we haven't seen from them since, well, honestly, their Worlds run.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen them perform well in so long, and maybe this is the winning formula, bringing back in Maxlore next to Leader. We saw Leader in his first game on the LEC stage not really live up to the hype, but this is an explosive player. And I think that if you wonder, why do Misfits play the less experienced mid? Why do Misfits play this guy that, as we say, go 4-0-0-4 over Febiven, who we think is maybe more consistent in the mid lane? It's because they're relying, they need that X factor, they need that pop-up, they need that lucky roll in order to actually topple a player like Caps in the mid.
Definitely something that they have to be willing to bank on. Excited to see 2 relatively young mids going toe-to-toe. Caps obviously have established that name for himself, and it is a mouse issue for Maxlore on stage. You can see our referees triaging the issue. And, of course, have a referee in training on stage as well. So, good opportunity to learn the ropes, see exactly what's going down. You can notice the intent clicking. Have to test both the left and the right click, guys.
And the scroll wheel, that's important too.
Scroll wheel.
I mean, every single game, you're zooming in League of Legends, you're zooming back out. It's very mechanical.
If you don't, as someone who is on ProView, zoom in and emote after a kill, specifically taunt or dance, you're not maximizing the value of ProView as an application.
Yeah, and then you have to berate them in all chat. That's how it goes. Easy clap.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I think the berating in all chat might lead to yet another opportunity for a referee education. Can't imagine that's okay.
Wait, I don't think there's a rule against flaming in all chat in LEC.
I cannot believe that that is true.
I mean, I'm certain there's some things you just can't say. But like, you can use all chat. You can say GG. You can say BG. You can say better jungle wins.
But really, GG, BG are all fine. Better jungler wins. How about GG easy? Is that on the acceptable list?
No, that's banned. Banned offense. That's a 14-day right there.
For the record, Ender does not know that for sure. And I don't want anyone to think that that's actually true, because it may surprise you to know that we haven't read the rule book. There is one. Pretty sure it's publicly available too, but we just wait for the voices in our head, aka producers or occasionally referees, to tell us what exactly the situation is. And for now, the voices say it's a mouse issue, but luckily we have the sweet face of a yawning Jankos to keep us company.
Yeah, at least their keyboard still works, you know? They can flame in all chat.
No, Ender, apparently they can't.
We didn't get that confirmed.
That's the rule you just made up. Come on.
Sorry, I need to stick to the facts here that I'm making up on the spot.
Back to League of Legends. Back to our brand new patch. Obviously, 9.13. You guys have been playing it on solo queue for a few weeks now, or you've been playing TFT, depending on where
Probably more TFT than League of Legends.
But very addicting. But obviously these teams coming back, Misfits had a bit more time to prep and play on the patch. G2 are new to the patch. And I'm curious what exactly the strategies are going to be. Now, I've already memed about Qiyana plenty, but I think that there are other interesting picks. We've seen the Mordekaiser today. We've got players typing in chat, "Let Draven open," says Hansama, question mark, and all caps, folks. So maybe we see that go through.
There seems to be some debate on who is the better Draven player on Misfits, whether or not it is actually Hansama or Gorilla. Which, I mean, I wouldn't have expected Gorilla to be the better player, but, you know. We saw how well...
Don't underestimate it.
We saw how well. Earlier in the day, Quickshot broke down how well Korea performed at NAE Rift Rivals. So, I mean, it does make some sense that he could have a better Draven than Hansama.
No, that doesn't make any sense. And I hate you both for supporting this weird fake stat obsession. All right, Ender. Sets. Other than that guy standing Maxlore, which I liked. Perfect intonation there, friend. You sounded excited and bored, depending on which half of the Maxlore you were talking about. You went up and down. I like it.
Shout out to you, dude, in the crowd.
Yeah. All right, obviously, pauses are never ideal. We're buying a bit of time to get in a game. And stakes are hard for this one because right now G2 Esports lost a game, right? If we were talking about the perfect split, it's easy to say, hey, G2, everything matters. They have to win this game. And while winning games is still important for G2 Esports, on a new patch, with less time to prepare, not sure exactly what level of G2 we're going to see, but on the opposite side for Misfits, pretty much every week to me, Ender, feels a little bit like do or die. And that's not really the case when you look at the standings, but when I look at the history of kind of mediocre splits that this team has been accruing, I feel like they do need to show us more if they want to give us, if they want to give the fans kind of faith in this team to continue to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen from Misfits in the past, too, that they struggle early on, and then all of a sudden, as they're putting the pieces together, they don't actually have enough wins from early in the season to actually make playoffs. I believe that was spring of 2018, where they looked, you know, not too good for a long time, finally started making it work, but ultimately didn't have the wins to actually close out. So as we get deeper into the season, you know, it might be week 4 now, but week 9 is going to creep up on you real quick, especially if you're a team like Misfits.
And additionally, champion select might be creeping up real quick. You saw the mouse message.
I hear the music.
Here, that's it, folks. We survived. We did it. We made it through the pause. Yes, give yourself a round of applause because it is time for G2 Esports versus Misfits Gaming. And really, there's a lot of questions on my mind already. Ender. 9-13, we've seen a few games, we've seen a lot of games internationally. What is your eye on in the ban phase?
My eye was going to be on Qiyana, but Misfits already banned that one. We haven't seen it picked or banned at all today, but they realized, you know, maybe G2 of all teams would be the ones to pull that out. And come on, Misfits, banning Qiyana.
I really want to see Qiyana too, and Mord!
What's going on, guys?
It's like they're playing to win. How dare they?
Unbelievable.
How dare they take away unknown variables that are difficult to prepare for? All right. Karma, Lux, Draven, those are all kind of, I think, pretty standard on the side of G2 Esports. They've taken the Draven away, though, so they won't let Misfits find out who is better, Hansama or Gorilla, playing the Draven. And Yasuo, too.
I mean, we have a lot of champions open, actually. Irelia, Yuumi both jump out towards me. G2 instantly pick themselves up the Yuumi. But Irelia's open for leader. I would be blown away if he was not piloting that champion in this game.
Opportunity to take a comfort pick for leader, of course, known for those melee champions, the assassins, those kind of champions that you find infuriating to play against. The Akali's, anything like that, you can't pilot. But of course, as you mentioned, pick of the litter open. G2 opt for Yuumi. Now it's going to be the Sejuani on the opposite side for sOAZ, and one more pick for Misfits.
Yeah, I really like the Sejuani here, especially when leader is in the game, because he's almost always going to be playing a melee mid laner. The Irelia, I think, still should be the option for him. It's going to pair up very, very nicely to play around this lane. We expect Misfits to put a lot of resources in towards leader to make sure he can be the carry. That is the reason you bring him in here. You want him to be popping off, and we can fully expect them to play around this lane.
And I like this draft strategy coming in from Misfits Gaming. They're not prioritizing any of their solo lane picks. They're on red side. They have the luxury of some last picks. And also, you just want to show as little as possible generally up against G2. So they've picked two just very solid picks in isolation. Good engage on both the Nautilus and the Sejuani. And I like seeing Gorilla, once again, not on a Tom Kench. We heard it from the desk. Put some engage in this man's hands, and no doubt that Nautilus absolutely qualifies.
Yeah, and it's also really good to bring engage whenever you're playing against G2 Esports, because so often they'll look to split the map. They have a lot of these champions that want to outplay you in 1v1s, 2v2s, things along those lines. So if you build a 5v5 comp that can just group up and force your way against G2, it does give you tools to try and fight against that.
Now the debate's coming through. We have the Neeko locked in once again. Triple flex coming through for the side of G2 Esports. The Sylas as well, something that we've seen recently played in the jungle position, so you have to respect the potential for the triple flex in the case of the Sylas.
Yeah, can flex everything, can flex bot lane, you know, why not? I think we saw Sylas support played earlier today, another part around the world, so there's a lot that can go on for G2 side, but there we have it. That's the Irelia for leader. This is a champion that used so well playing in the regional scene, you know, at EU Masters when he was playing for that Misfits second team. He was so dominant on this champion. Remember all those highlight reels from EU Masters where he's finding 1v3s, 1v4s even. This man was absolutely popping off.
And remember, it's only the second game we've seen leader up on this stage. First game was Yasuo. Had one or two okay early moments in the game, kills around the top side of the map, went downhill from there. Maybe the Irelia will be a different story. As you already mentioned, the synergy with the Sejuani is there. But now that he's gotten his hands on a melee champion, he's not going to give any over to the enemy team. Akali taken off the board. G2 responding with a Kennen ban. Nobody likes playing against ninjas, not a surprise.
Definitely like seeing that removed as a good answer in towards the Neeko as well. Lucian, interestingly enough, being banned here to steal that one away from Perkz. And I wonder what Hansama goes for, because the Ezreal is a pick he's gone for a couple times that is up and available. The Xayah as well is a big one if it doesn't get banned away here too. But I want to put the thought of Kalista in your minds, because Kalista plus Nautilus is a dirty 2v2, and Kalista's always one of those champions that Hansama loves to pilot.
Put it in my mind, put it in G2 Esports minds, and see it instantly banned. Ender. Nobody wants to play against it, and especially Yuumi does not want to play against it. But the Sivir coming in for Hansama, maybe telling us that we're not going to see quite as much focus on the Misfits Gaming bottom side.
Yeah, one of the benefits of having the Kalista banned against you is that it removes a really good matchup for that Kalista into Sivir. So without having that counter pick option, it becomes a very easy lock-in now for Hansama, and it feeds into this idea of team fight, team fight, team fight for Misfits. Bottom lane, as you said, doesn't have to be a huge focus for Misfits. They can look to get leader ahead.
Now Vayne being locked in by Perkz, of course, with the Rage Blade nerfs, as well as some small Vayne nerfs too on that Tumble R core. So that's right, the Tumble cooldown when ult is activated. Haven't seen her nearly as much, but still conventionally considered a counter pick into the Sivir. 1v1 mid to late game Sivir just cannot go toe-to-toe. But have to see who actually is going to pilot it.
Yeah, probably going to be in the bottom lane. You'd have to expect here Neeko flexing up top lane. If this Twisted Fate gets locked in, that will be a Sylas jungle. Still is probably a Sylas jungle here with Renekton going top lane, Neeko in towards the mid for Caps, and that
is it Neeko
Yuumi.
mid, or is it Renekton mid,
or is it Vayne mid?
No, stop.
They could do it all, Drakos.
Wait, okay, final pick coming through. I thought that was the final countdown. Of course, we're going to see till 20 seconds. Hold your breath until that point, because that is the moment where we will know where all these picks are going. The Vladimir now locked in, believe set to go to the top side in the hands of sOAZ, and a lot of team fighting power in the hands of Misfits.
Yeah, I like the idea here from Misfits. You know, we said it very early on in the draft. Misfits, just group up as 5. Find that team fight. They have some magic damage for sOAZ with the Vladimir in the top lane. And I think you're right about that Renekton. It's going to want to follow this Irelia. It smashes her in that 1v1. You just can't take trades against this guy in the early laning phase.
And we heard this from Whippo on Euphoria this week, talking about how strong Renekton is in the current meta, given that he functions as kind of a lane counter to both the Akali as well as the Irelia. Now we're going to see what Caps can do, and potentially a favorable matchup for him early on. You see the TP in the hands of Caps, Leader instead opting for the Ignite. So clear, visible focus from Leader on finding those kills with the aggressive summoner.
Yeah, and looking to have Maxlore play around him too. Having that double melee with the Sejuani means you can find early ganks on towards this Renekton, who traditionally, you know, if he wants to take trades, has to overextend a little bit in that middle lane. There are tools here for Misfits to fight against G2, but it's a G2 with crazy picks once again. Maybe not as much with the Sylas in the jungle, but Renekton mid to smash Leader. I remember Leader's worst game of EU Masters ever was playing Yasuo into a mid lane Renekton. He got absolutely dumpstered, and Caps is set up to try and do it again.
See if Caps can find a victory today, if his dad can be a happy dad cheering from the crowd. what Misfits can show us, what their final form looks like. Will they have unlocked it in the 2 weeks since we last saw them? Will there be more to show us? Will they have to go back to the drawing board? It is time to find out, folks. The G2 Army is here. The Misfits fans are here in force, and we are getting ready for our third game. G2 fans, ready for some potential early action here. And Ender, you talk about mid lane, and I'm like, look, Sivir Nautilus is hype.
Yeah, wait, is it? Sivir Nautilus is like, I'm just going to play Wave Clear Simulator.
But here's the deal, is I feel like there's tons of engaged potential. And maybe I'm biased, right? Because I'm an old school League of Legends fan. I've followed Gorilla for too long, and now I just kind of expect him to do crazy stuff. But the same is definitively true for the mid lane jungle matchup on both sides. Sejuani Irelia versus a Sylas Renekton. Of course, important to note, part of the reason why people might be a little bit skeptical about Misfits right now is that when you look at the 4 teams they've lost to, a lot of teams contending towards the top. And on the opposite side, Ender, when you look at how they've won, it's just Excel and Rogue that they've beat.
Yeah, which seem to be 2 of the weakest teams in the league so far. So we have yet to see them do well against the top. Now, Jankos, and this is Wunder here, looking for the start on towards Leader. But Leader starting with E can easily stun them up and walk out.
Ooh, the reset though.
But this doesn't benefit either side, really, because, you know, Jankos can't start that one up. They're going to kill the Blast Cone, but ultimately, Maxlore will have the E at level 1, so that is hard CC. If Leader can find another E himself, that means they can get that double lockdown.
Oh, Jankos. Gonna go for the Ipsco. Oh, the instant flash over. The stun is there. Misfits. It's gonna be the first blow. There's no way to flash.
Oh, and
they
he's
burned
out.
both flashes. Jankos gonna walk away on that one.
Leader has E in 5 seconds. It's just not enough. He's gonna be able to
no
walk
way.
away. And that's actually, so it's favorable now for Jankos. Yes, he's down in HP, but it's 2 flashes there from Leader and from Maxlore. But notice, it is Leader going up into the top lane, so you know he wants to avoid that brutal matchup of the Renekton, but still going to be slowing himself down quite a lot because both top laners missed out on EXP.
Yeah, difficult spot for both the top laners and the junglers. Of course, Maxlore able to clear healthy, but will have to leash solo. You see Jankos trying to take some of his camps, has access to the smite, but very difficult for Sylas in some of these early clears. And I like that they're willing to swap on the side of Misfits, Ender.
Yeah, no, it's a good move here, knowing how bad this matchup can be. And look, it's not like you're going to win this matchup against a Neeko. It's a range versus melee discrepancy in the early game. But what it does give you is much better gank support to try and find out Wunder. You know, level 3, level 4, when Sejuani makes her way back towards the top side of the map, that's where Misfits will look to try and punish this player.
Oh, Caps. No Ignite. Doesn't need it. Calls the Meek in an instant. G2 find that first blood.
He just destroyed sOAZ. That wasn't even close. Like, with the fadeaway, too. He's walking away, then flashes around right on him, knowing sOAZ was just in range. Huge misplay there from sOAZ.
And I mean, a difficult situation to be in. It's not like Renekton really loses early game to pretty much any champion. An incredible lane boy, and he feels like sOAZ not entirely respecting that.
Jankos?
Jankos?
How you doing, buddy?
Jankos versus the creeps. But now the gank at the top lane. The Renekton is back. Leader tries to buy a bit more time, but another one for Caps. Woo, double stacking the kills. And sOAZ, can he get anything back?
Nope. He's going to come up here and get some CS. So, oh, wait. No,
maybe
buddy.
not. Get out, sOAZ.
Should be okay.
He has the pool, folks. We can take a breather. Everything's going to calm down for at least 10 seconds.
But still, look at this. I mean, Caps just absolutely popped off. It's a solo kill in the mid lane, then TP's top lane with a big minion wave there, so it's a pretty easy dive on towards Leader, who we knew lost Flash at level 1. Now the lane swaps have come back into full effect, and you have to think Misfits just got absolutely destroyed. It's a 12 CS on this Irelia to the 23 of Neeko or the 20 of this Renekton. Like, you're so far behind now off of this loss. You're only level 2 when this tower goes down, and all these minions are denied.
Oh, and he walks right back. There's really no good choice there. You can't walk to the creep wave and give Renekton the double dash. You stay in your tower and you hope for the best, but you just got stat checked there, and Renekton has more than enough early game damage to find that kill. All right, there's 2 games happening. There's League of Legends and there's Jankos versus the creeps. He almost dies to Krug's bottom side. He finally secures the Krug's top side. Things are looking great for G2. A 1K gold lead at 5 minutes, kind of what you expect from them, but definitely not how Misfits wanted to start the game.
And Misfits now say, okay, we can't make a play around leader. He's too far behind at the moment. Let's go bottom side. You can catch out Mikyx while he's in transition. You have so many CC tools with this Nautilus.
But this is huge because the flash is not available for Maxlore because he burned it on the level 1. He cannot get the Q flash. Maybe a regular Q is going to be close enough. The creep wave forced out. The pathing around. Beautiful play by Gorilla. Now the follow-up CC is there from Maxlore. Perkz still running though. Yuumi, the zoomies, keeping him healthy. Looking to body block. Another hook is not going to connect. Mikyx says, not on my watch. And he blocks it. Another! Caps, calm down, man. We need a game.
Oh my word. Bot lane, Misfits do everything right, but Perkz still managed to escape, and then Caps just 1v1's leader yet again. This replay is of that middle lane fight where it's a level 5 Caps to level 4 leader. Leader has the minion wave, but you just can't take these fights. We knew this matchup was miserable. Not only are you against a Renekton with a full level over you, he also has his Conqueror fully stacked. Leader just out of position there, gets blown to pieces.
Yeah, normally being in creep wave is a position of power, but against a Renekton when he's just going to get all of that healing and all of that fury when he pushes Cole the Meek, you might just not want to stand in the creep wave.
You might. It's up for debate.
Ender, I'm going to be honest, I was expecting a closer early game. I was expecting teams to trade blows a little bit more here, but G2 are just reminding us why or how they won MSI. Strong, confident, aggressive plays like this in the early game.
Whoa, did G2 win MSI? I remember them losing in the final. I mean, let's just be honest here. They didn't help.
You mean Rift Rivals?
Rift Rivals. Oh,
No, I said MSI.
Yeah, I was thinking, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
move on. No.
Everyone, for Ender's sake, just pretend he said Rift Rivals. That's all we can ask for. All right.
And notice how sOAZ just used his pool in the mid lane. That was interesting.
Good on sOAZ. Okay.
Smooth transition.
Damage report. Pretend you got to save this game for Misfits right now. What are you doing, Ender? Where are you putting players? Where are you ganking? Where are you running away from Perkz as fast as humanly possible? Nice jump out there. Gorilla now knocked back though. Jankos on the way in. Abscond, abduct. We'll move in. Lot of damage. Is it going to be enough though? Gorilla burning low. The creeps are there. Perkz going to grab that one. Another easy kill pickup for G2.
The worst part is when you ask me what do Misfits have to do, I was just about to say, go down bottom lane. There's no flash on Perkz, there's no summoners on this Yuumi. You're about to be, hitting level 6 in the next couple of minutes for Gorilla, but then they just get ganked by Jankos and die, and all other lanes are just death at the moment. Caps is just proxying the minion wave. sOAZ has to use his pool just to get to his tower so he can clear away these minions. The solo lanes are not working for Misfits, so they have to abort and focus bot.
And the good news is that he has a bit of cooldown reduction, has a bit of sustain, can look to try to survive, but it may not be enough. Has used the ulti. Caps is going to double dash his way out of there. Just walk away once again. G2 are dictating the pace of this game, and it seems like Misfits are not ready to play at that pace. Perkz going in.
Casual 1v2. No big deal.
And another kill. Jankos kills leader.
All right, Drakos.
I asked for a game of League of Legends, and I'm getting a montage, Ender.
For like multiple different players, like Caps is trying to do his thing, Perkz trying to do his thing.
And look, like if any other team falls behind 1 or 2 kills, it's fine. But one of the G2's biggest strengths is capitalizing on their advantages, whether it's from counter picks and lane matchups or these early gold leads. They are not afraid to make the aggressive play.
Okay, Maxlore has to counter gank here, but even then, they're both down in levels. Maxlore's still level 5, so you actually, this 2v2 does not work for you either. You can escort your top laner to the tower so he can clear his minions, but that is just miserable.
Jankos will complete the back, though, so a brief moment of theoretically an advantage state, but we look back at these kills, and once again, brutal for Leader. Has not gotten to play much of anything.
So does Leader go in here? Because the root is down, so he thinks he can take good trade against Wunder. The E does not come close, and then Wunder just runs him down.
Oh, the flat. Well played.
That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, and he gets barely caught on the edge of that, too. Then the follow-up CC. All right. Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate there.
Here we go, the stolen Nautilus ult, but Gorilla just barely making it out of range in time with the flash. Good flash to make it to safety, but a 2-level discrepancy in the bot lane. It's been a long time since we've seen one of those. And Leader can try to come down here. You talked about bailing out bottom lane, trying to get something done. They have the vision advantage in terms of the control ward, but they're not entirely sure what they want to do here.
Yeah, but Leader's a level 7 Irelia with 3 longswords and a dagger. 57 CS. This guy does not do anything at the moment.
Yeah. This man's trying to max out his crafting, you know what I'm saying? His smithing. He's just building many daggers as humanly possible.
Yeah,
swords, whatever.
But he's got to give up on the iron daggers. Just go looting some. You have to find good items. His level is way too low to actually build, dwarven, ebony. Like, you just can't.
And that's as much as I'm going to humor you on It's like 9 people who understood
G2
that.
have Dragon Bone armor right now. It's just like, what do you do? It's still early game.
And then, okay, so one guy got it. You're the only person we needed. Thank you. You've justified this entire Skyrim rant. 10 minutes into the game, Ender. 4K gold lead. I hate saying games are over, but it is very hard to come back from this.
Bye, Leader.
It's even more hard when you have all these great ultimates to steal. Jankos gonna grab another kill. Leader dashes around, but just cannot get anything done.
Maxlore does kill the Wolf Camp, though.
Yeah,
That was a 1v3.
good job, Maxlore. That matters. Wolves is hard. All right, G2 grab yet another plate. 4.6K gold lead now. I'm checking in with you every minute because it goes up 1,000 gold, dear audience. And now Spear of Shojin on the way for caps. And if you thought regular early game Renekton was terrifying, try mid-game Renekton with the Spear of Shojin when he can stun you 3 times in the duration of an ult.
Yeah, try every point of this game, Renekton, where caps will be a level or 2 or 3 higher than you and just one-shot you in one full rotation.
And this is a game where you can see the team fighting power of Misfits on one side, but G2 just have an insane 1-3-1. Like, all of these champions can go sideline, except for Yuumi. Yuumi is the only champion who will inevitably go sideline attached to someone else, but the rest of the champions are just happy to sit in a side lane to soak up this farm. And now Caps gets the freedom to push out mid lane, roam, look and fish for these plays. I like, though, that Misfits are grouping up.
Yeah, I mean, what Misfits need now is time, right? So you just have to have more members. You can never be outnumbered because then you absolutely lose. Maxlore, he doesn't... hello? Hello?
Yeah. Oh, it's one of those games. Thank you, audience, for being so fun. Okay, now we'll see if we're going to play the Sejuani all game and see who has a higher hit rating this game, Jankos or Maxlore. Maxlore 0 for 1.
Or Steve's Lux ults from Rift Rivals.
That's also fair. What did it mean? There's a question on our mind. sOAZ levels.
Oh, we got the replay. Nice.
Oh. Man, at a certain point, it just feels like you're punching down a little bit. Misfits, this is not the way they wanted to come back onto the stage. They wanted to show us more. They wanted to show us something good here, but it's not happening. And you got to feel bad for Quickshot's predictions here.
I love how they give the Rift Herald to the Yuumi, who never recalls herself. Yuumi hops into an ally, so you don't get that.
Yeah, Yuumi could have also benefited from producing Perkz. Now in trouble.
Oh.
sOAZ going in. Vladimir damage, will it be enough? Moving through the fancy footwork. Goes golden. Tries to buy a bit of time, but here comes the Sejuani. Here comes another TP. He's trying to go. He dodges behind the minion. Beautiful dodge on the Vladimir. And now the rest of the team is here. Welcome to the surprise party. But it's a surprise for Wunder. He manages to get 2-man knockup, but now Wunder's running for his life. It is Caps on the backside. He's done a ton of damage. At the end of the day, G2 get the kill, but that was so incredibly close.
Yeah, I mean, Perkz with the outplay there, too. You called it perfectly, using the minions to block the damage coming through from sOAZ's E, and barely survives to have the teleports come in for help. That was a 4v5, mind you, with Jankos not in that fight. Caps just now using his TP to come topside and get even more turret plate money before it goes away.
Can we get a quick gold check, observers here? Yeah, that's kind of what I was scared of. That's 7,000 gold for the Renekton. At 13 minutes into the game. That's a Spear of Shojin complete when he goes back. Ooh. Thank you, observers.
He has over 2 times as much as Gorilla.
I mean, Gorilla's a support. Come
Yeah,
on,
but
that's
still, more than 2.5 times. Like,
Oh, the stun. Repair will get another charge. We check in on the gold. And only Mikyx is down there with the rest of the Misfits members.
Wow, Mickey sucks.
You're a cruel man, Christy Ender Frierson. He's playing Yuumi. He doesn't get to play Pyke, apparently. Now that it's nerfed, no one is allowed to
Put
play.
him promiscuous is all I'm saying.
Oh, my God. Boo. Thank you, audience. Boo. All right, we can look back at this. Once again, beautiful outplay. Keep your eyes on the tumble.
Yep, here comes. Bloop. 1 minion between him and certain death on towards sOAZ, and then it's 4v4 because 3 people come in on the 2 teleports for G2. And while Wunder buys time, there was some CC. It's Caps who gets the solo kill on towards sOAZ.
And, of course, sOAZ with no cooldowns left, also against a, now that we know, 7K gold Renekton, is not going to be able to survive. Now, Ender. Spear of Shojin's completed.
Yep.
There's an extra candle gem there. Potentially Black Cleaver on the way as well for young Caps, who's been our pseudo top laner this game. But we like to always set hope for the enemy team, and I'd like to do that now. It's 15 minutes into the game. Misfits are down 8k gold, which is pretty big at 15 minutes. I don't know if you know.
Solid analysis.
How long do they have to go to win the game? Are we straight up like, is this game so G2-sided that we are straight up going Sivir 500 CS?
I was just about to say it. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. Like, you know, Sivir 500 CS, maybe 3v1 caps, but even then, I'm not sure.
Caps, Spear of Shojin, dashes out to safety.
I don't think
They throw the ult. He's still alive. He's still alive. Caps goes down. Misfits find the shutdown. Caps caught overextending. Massive shutdown going into the back pocket of Gorilla. Yes! Now he will have so much gold. That's
and they only trade it for mid lane tier 2 tower.
All right. But that's important. I mean, you have to trade for something.
No,
right?
definitely,
At this point of the game. You do not get to dictate the pace of the game. You just have to find and take what you can get. This is definitely one of those games. Perkz continuing to push forward. Of course, Blade of the Ruin King's coming through. First items across the board for this team. Bits and pieces on the side of Misfits. Maybe they can get something here. sOAZ fishing for the team fight. Of course, Maxlore has no ultimate, and sOAZ is just going to be forced to back away. Jankos with the hijack up and available. Could look to steal one of the 2 potential engage ults on the opposite side.
I would like to say it's important to notice the CS between mid laners. Leader is tied, actually, with Cap. So, yes, he's like miles behind, but this is showing some signs of recovery for Misfits with that play down bottom side, which I really didn't think was going to work out. Caps is a very tanky man at the moment, but without the flash and popping the dominance early there, it was a play they could make.
Ooh, Gorilla flashing away. Yuumi can continue to chase if they want to, but they are just going to back off. Forcing a flash out, though, pure advantage to G2 does not cost them anything.
It's G2 just waiting for that next overstep from Misfits. Right now they're bringing all their members towards this mid lane. There's not really anything for them to take here. They can just use this pressure, transition down in towards the Dragon, and then facilitate Caps in the side lane. As long as he can't be collapsed on by, I'm going to say Misfits need 4 people to kill him right now. He can pull off the 1v3. The 1v4 is a little bit much, but as long as G2 can give him a little bit of support, should be fine. Just keep on pushing.
If you can chain CC the Renekton till he dies, or stop him from auto-attacking you after he casts ult, you can kill him.
Got bad news. He's got Merc Treads. A little hard to chain CC with that.
Very true. All right, G2 setting up for the siege on the bottom side. Cap's just going to fish. We'll lay out a bit of damage and dash right back out. Of course, decent amount of sustain from the Yuumi, as well as the Cold of Meek healing. And Leader, in the meantime, getting a good bit of attention. I like Maxlore going over to set him up. They, of course, see many members of G2 on the bottom side. So he's allowed to free push, get a bit more gold under his belt. Trinity Force, very important for the Irelia. And, yeah. Next up, XL versus OG.
Good timing, production.
Here we go. G2 continuing to clear through. Leader going to grab a bit of solo gold here on the top side of the map. Farm, it will be a trade, tier 2 for tier 1.
Surely they can't take this tower. Surely Hansama can press Q and clear the way.
Oh, Vladimir clearing the way. I like that from sOAZ. Being willing to burn a lot of major cooldowns there just to clear the way, buy a bit more time for the team. Good thinking. It's going to feel real bad if he tries to fight in the next minute, but otherwise, good choice.
Luckily, Baron isn't going to spawn for another 2.
That's true, Ender. Good job.
You're welcome.
Thanks. All right. Oh. What do I say to like build hope for Misfits? Irelia, cool champion.
She is a fun champion to play.
Oh no, so as you don't have your ulti.
Buddy.
There it is. So I spotted him out, now running for his life. The knockup's gonna come through. Goes golden, buys a bit of time. Eyes on the flash from sOAZ, does make it around the corner of the wall, and he lives, folks. That's it. Wonderful escape artist. And of course,
is hope.
If you want to see
hope,
more
Drakos.
plays like that, incredible outplays where someone manages to escape, be sure to get your tickets for the main event of the summer, the LEC Finals from Athens, Greece. For more info, you can head over to riot.com/Athens. That's the place to go. You see it on the bottom of your screen now, 7th to 8th of September. It's going to be a jam. What did you think of Athens?
Yeah, so it's just in Athens. It's very hot.
Yeah, but I think it'll be colder by
It will
September.
definitely be colder, but hot.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should make a series called One-Word Reviews.
Yeah, it was a little too hot. That's
right.
2 words for you.
One-word review this game for me.
Yikes.
Ooh. Fair. Hansama now, ooh, walking away. And Maxlore is 1 for 2 on the Sejuani ults. Jankos is now, I think, 0 for 1.
All right.
So he's winning the mini game, but not the real game. sOAZ now in trouble. No flash this time around. We'll get a lot of immediate healing, but no movement speed. Already is just going to get walked down here. Caps will grab yet another kill, and the AK gold lead is maintained by G2. Now, Leader thinks he might have the advantage here in the 1v1. He is going to dash in. Ooh, double dash. Jankos healing up though off the Kingmaker. He might not have enough time. Does go gold and finds it for the team. Leader desperately wants to get back, but he can't. Denied in an instant. He will be taken down. The ulti comes out for Maxlore. 2 for 3. His hit rating keeps going up, and Caps will not find the kill.
Does G2 have no honor? That was a 1v1. They broke the sacred rules of the 1v1. They bring 4 people in to kill Leader. 0-5, by the way. But they need 4 people to kill him.
All right, moment of truth. Everyone, tension. 5K. Baron getting lower and lower. Maxlore waiting, trying to find an opportunity in this pit. Will he be able to get a 2K dropping? They have vision in the pit. Can Maxlore do it? He dashes over. 12K, 1,000. Goes gold, finds a bit of time. They're trying to burst it down before he comes out. And that's what they needed. Misfits find the Baron. A beautiful smite steal from Maxlore. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we might just have ourselves a game of League of Legends. You're not... What?
They're stalling. You know, we're getting towards that 500 CS, Drakos.
It started as a meme, and now it's a dream.
Okay, let's see this from actually, because he actually waits a really long time. They have a ward in the pit, no control wards from G2 to stop that. Sees 1,500, he's wait.
They're gonna
get it to 1,000. Hops on over and avoids the CC. Then realizes, wait, they're not hitting the Baron. I'm gonna use Zhonya's. G2 turn on the Baron. They probably shouldn't have turned on the Baron. Jankos didn't have smite up. Wait, Jankos' smite was literally like 3 seconds off of cooldown, and they decided to try and burst it while Maxlore was inside the pit.
Maxlore somehow, with Sejuani's big, I can't use that word, very large hitbox, dodged both the Renekton going over the wall and the Sylas abscond of dust.
All right.
But now Caps is in trouble. Getting a little frisky there. Okay.
It's another ult for Jankos.
1 for 2, 2 for 3 on the side of Maxlore. We'll keep you updated on the score.
But right now, G2, even without the Baron, they're pushing all 3 lanes. So 4 members of Misfits commit topside, while the Yuumi Perkz duo is going to be whacking away at this tower. sOAZ already taken very, very low, and Wunder pushing bot side too. So the initial engage from Misfits does not work out, and now their towers are going to take a beating.
Now Cap's trying to get a little bit more aggressive here. Of course, wherever Misfits commit multiple members, G2 will right now look to apply pressure on another lane. Wunder is going to be matched by sOAZ. sOAZ, of course, maybe cannot win the trades, but can survive long enough to clear the creeps. Hansama doing what he can on the Sivir to make this happen. Maxlore now dashing out to safety. Extra distances are fading away. The snare will land. That's the final chapter. It might be Misfits' final chapter 2. Hansama! So Perkz goes in. He's going to look for a little bit more here. Locked up under the tower. He's going to even out. Finds a bit more time. He does get the heal. The zoomies will come through. The double for Caps to the backside. He's in the midst of everything. Leader, can he get anything done? Will it be enough? Leader, the hero moment is here, but it will be too little, too late. The team will walk away. Wunder with the perfect Zhonya's timing to find that kill.
G2 got tired of waiting around. Perkz just flashes right over that wall to get some extra kills. 4 members down now for Misfits. This will be at least 1 inhibitor for G2.
23 minutes into the game, G2 poised to end it. 9K gold lead. It's going to grow here as both towers and most likely both inhibitors will fall as well. 2 members strong.
There's no TP on Perkz, so Misfits, when they get these respawns up, they should be looking to force a fight. Now, they don't have the ultimates to make it happen, but this is their only chance.
Eyes on Maxlore, doesn't have an ultimate. He doesn't have a flash either. The stolen Irelia, oh, it buys a bit of time. On the hunt used, Hansama has to be careful about not stepping too far forward. Caps on the backside, so much damage onto Maxlore. They will retreat in the end.
It was the right call there from Misfits, but unfortunately they did not have the tools to make it happen. Now, even though they lost the fight, they've still got their inhibitor, so they're only 300 CS away from Sivir. But it's looking grim.
291 to be fair, but this is, I like the full commit here the second they see the opportunity. And
yeah.
I honestly don't think Maxlore can afford to step out there.
Nope, he instantly gets killed. And Hansama with a...
Did the stolen depth charge knock him back outside of his own base?
I'm not actually sure what happened there. Honestly, I want to see that again because I did not expect that. I didn't see it the first time around, and then it caught me completely by surprise there. So,
but honestly, when you look back at
we're seeing it again. Wait. We didn't go back far enough.
That's fine.
Show it again. Nice. Sama, what happened?
Stolen all.
Oh my god! Oh! Wait, that's so insane. No, and why this happens, Gorilla's hitbox is so big, and there's a minion right next to him. He actually got creep blocked, so he didn't have anywhere to go. The knockup sent him over the wall because the game literally calculated and said, wait, we can't put him on the ground here. There's no space for him. Let's just chuck him over the wall. That is some G2 bias.
They nerf Pyke, but they buff hitboxes in that weird specific situation. Oh, right. All right, Ender. I had a point, and then we watched that replay like 6 times, and now I'm going to be honest, I've completely lost it. G2 on the cusp of winning the game. You saw in the last fight, it was very close, but G2's gold lead honestly paid off dividends as they were just able to outstat the opposition, even if they did make some fumbles under the tower. And of course, praise be to the luck of the giant Nautilus hitbox. Just 2 inhibitors. Misfits, they have their engage tool. Maxlore is the guy that you need to watch. Gorilla as well. Both ultis are up and available. They have to carry the flash forward. They're going to kill someone before he gets to push a button. Leader waiting on the backside, trying to buy a bit more time, but he has been locked up, he has been stunned. Wunder pulled in, will not find anyone except for Gorilla. Not the target that he wanted, but it does not matter. Leader is dead. The Misfits bot lane are the only 2 left standing. Scratch that. It is Sama versus all of G2 Esports, and he does not stand a chance. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. It might have been decided in minute 3, it might have been decided in minute 5, but it is definitely going to be decided here at 26 minutes as G2 play with their food a little bit.
The fountain, baby!
And they're going to end the game just like that.
I never doubted them. Not for a second.
All right.
No, I really didn't doubt them. Like
Kobe,
ever.
You calm down. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. A commanding win for G2 Esports, and I think if you were skeptical after they ran it down in that Rift Rivals Best of 5, now do they have reason to have more faith in the G2 lineups? Looking comfortable, not even looking to utilize the Keon and the board. They were banned away. And beside of Misfits, once again, it is back to the drawing board. But in a game versus G2, I don't think you should take it too hard. So many teams have come out and said it. Outside of Fnatic, they do appear to be head and shoulders above the vast majority of the competition.
Yeah, G2 absolutely styling in this game, of course. And it was a little unfair, too, because I wanted to see Leader. He got his Irelia. I was so excited to see it happen. The Cap's like, no, I'm playing that Renekton. You don't get that matchup. He's like, okay,
I'm sorry. Is there a niche counter pick?
Yep, gonna pick that one. And he's like, okay, I can go top lane. That'll be fine. Loses flash at level 1, gets denied a bunch of EXP. He's playing against a ranged top laner.
Yeah, by Renekton.
Feels bad, man.
Stack the wave. That's tough. But at least Caps is dead. He's happy. See him in the audience now. He's chilling, having a good time. And Leader, still looking pretty positive, all things considered, which I think is good. Grabs is laughing, having a good time. Ender, I'm gonna be honest. This game, it happened. That's my analysis. This game happened. G2 dominated. Misfits, I think. Honestly, the advantages for G2 were so fast and so early in the game that it's hard for me to offer any unique critique.
Yeah, because we didn't see them on a level playing field right from the start. You know, they tried to make the big play. They committed very early. Misfits said, we're going to flash over the wall. We're going to try to kill Jankos. But Jankos, level 1 on Sylas. He has mobility from his E. Had the flash too. So it felt real bad for Misfits, who didn't have a chance, whose jungler was set behind, so you couldn't impact the Irelia lane early on. Their windows of opportunity were closed down on from a good level 1 and then just complete domination from Caps.
Yeah, absolutely the case. But of course, if you want to take time out of your day, head on over to Twitter, @LawEsports is the place, and vote for your key player of the game. Your options: Caps, Perkz, Mikyx.
How's Mikyx up there? Mikyx had like no gold.
It's not all about gold. Calm down.
I was just told because I was talking crap about Mikyx, and that's why he's up there.
Well, that's honestly at this point, folks, it's any G2 member you want it to be. If you believe hard enough, anything is possible with the G2 Esports lineup. But for more on G2's win, let's check in with the analyst desk.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's going to be a pretty one-sided post-game here because G2, they smashed Misfits. I haven't seen a shellacking that bad in quite a while.
I know, I've seen one. It's in your predictions.
Oh, okay, that's not fair. That's not fair. However, yeah, I was way off. I definitely entered my predictions today. I mean, look,
Running it down.
It just felt like every single member of G2 Esports simply outclassed every single member of Misfits. There was kills from top to bottom at multiple times, and Misfits, they never got going.
And before we even get into all of those kills, I really want to kind of hone in and focus in on the draft, because against G2, I mean, you hear teams talk about this all the time when they're trying to prep for this team, that it's impossible to prep for this team in draft. It's always going to be a pick your poison, because they're always going to find a way to outmaneuver around you. As soon as the Neeko, the Sylas, and the Renekton they're matched up, basically sOAZ is looking at like his bag of tricks. He's like, I guess Vladimir can survive this. Like, this is going to be fine. But Misfits already knew that they were going to be playing from a back foot, and it was going to be musical chairs of who can avoid the worst matchup and try to alleviate some of the damage or some of the bleeding that would happen.
And one of the concerns I had coming out of draft was the fact that the Misfits composition was very clearly scaling, team fight, get to 5v5s, and that's just not something that's working a lot these days.
It was also a lot of high priority on Sejuani, which I feel like teams have really moved away from Sejuani. I'm curious as we see Excel and Origin face again, because Origin was kind of our other big Sejuani team, if they've also moved away from her because of the rise in priority over Sylas jungle. Sylas, you know, as soon as he gets locked in, it makes other champions just less impactful, because he's basically the better version of them with the ultimates, because he can have his own CC in the kit. So it's like, if he's against a Rumble, he can use the Rumble ultimate, then he can like lock you down on top of it. Same thing with the Sejuani. And so I don't think Misfits make this mistake again, where they pick a Sejuani when a Sylas jungle is a possibility.
Well, let's see whether or not they get that chance, because Misfits ended up losing the game. We're taking a look at Caps' view from Pro View. He played the Renekton pretty much against everybody. And Frosk, what do you like seeing about how Caps utilized this pick?
I mean, he used every Renekton combo pretty much perfectly. The thing that really stood out to me is kind of how he plays around the mind of his opponents. You know, the fact that he was walking away from sOAZ before he decided to turn around, flash, burst him down because he knew how much damage Renekton was going to do. The fact that when he's taking his trades, he knows he has his double slice and dice. Or his two dashes stacked up, so he smashes you and then he dashes out, and it's kind of these special flares that make Caps who he is on this Renekton versus other Renekton players, because Renekton's pretty face roll. I mean, you smash your face on the keyboard, his combos are pretty disgusting. He gets Spear of Trojan, I believe he can like stun you twice during the duration of Dominus with his ultimate. It's just disgusting in terms of how it synergizes with his kit as an item, but how Caps is able to utilize the kit to create opportunities that sOAZ didn't even see coming. He did not expect that, and sOAZ isn't the only one.
No, the entire team of Misfits did not see anything that G2 was throwing at them. Look at that gold lead. That's a 13,000 gold lead scale, and it was around 5,000 gold by about 10 minutes, 19 kills to 2. By 12 minutes into the game, I started messaging our stats team to find out when the last time we had a perfect game was, and it was in 2017 when Vitality beat UOL. I felt like this game was going to go perfect. It didn't, because Misfits threw 4.5 members down into the bottom edge to pick up a single kill, but they ended up conceding more of the map. And it's going from bad to worse. Misfits are now sitting on 2 wins, 5 losses. That's the same record as Rogue right now. And when you think of the star caliber of those players, that is a terrifying win-loss at this stage of the split.
I don't want to kick a man when he's down. So, I mean, I think Misfits' scoreline speaks for itself. It's pretty clear that the team is, you know, hitting the eject button and trying to figure out how to make something work on this 10-man roster. So I'll leave that as it is. In terms of G2's performance, though, I just think there is a lot to take away here. You know, the fact that they came out ready to go with the Sylas jungle, that they had the Renekton in the mid lane. These are things that are kind of newer trends on this patch. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, I understand what you were thinking when maybe Misfits can get an upset win here, because they came off of Rift Rivals. You expect G2 are probably very tired, that maybe they're burnt out, maybe they took a vacation, maybe they wouldn't be so on the ball.
And I could not have been more wrong.
But they were.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the fact that they drew the Kiana and the Mordekaiser ban, I think there was a team to do it. This would be the team to do it again, so I agree with that. We do have to announce the Kia player of the game. It was Caps. He picked up a whopping 71% of the votes. It's part of the reason that we did his Pro View POV as part of the replay package. But it wasn't only him. Literally every single other member also absolutely stepped up and smashed this game.
I'm actually really curious how far in advance G2's plan was for this draft, since it was a Yuumi priority pick. If that somehow signaled the Renekton, I don't think so, because again, G2 can just pivot and flex on draft like on a draw or
On a dime.
on a dime, thank you. But Yuumi with Renekton is such a devastating combo.
With this entire team, it works with the Sylas, works with the Neeko. It absolutely worked out, and that was why G2 absolutely obliterated Misfits. We need to move on to the next game because Origin defended EU's glory at Rift Rivals, and tonight they return to the LEC. Watch them take on XL Esports after the break.
That's where Misfits will look to try and punish this player.
Oh, Caps. No Ignite. I hate saying games are over, but it is very hard to come back from this.
Bye, leader.
It's even more hard when you have all these great ultimates to steal. Jankos gonna grab another kill. Can Maxlore do it? He dashes over. 12K, 1,000. Goes golden. Buys a bit of time to try to burst it down before he comes out. Finds a bit more time. He does get the heal. The zoomies will come through. The double Perkz to the backside. He's in the midst of everything. Leader, can he get anything done? Will it be enough? Leader, the hero moment is here, but it will be too little, too late. Both ultis are up and available. They have to careful the flash forward. Instantly, they're gonna kill sOAZ before he gets to push a button. Leader waiting on the backside, trying to buy a bit more time, but he has been locked up. He has been stunned. Wunder pulled in. Will not find anyone except for Gorilla. Not the target that he wanted, but it does not matter.